Hello everyone, I am Promise Ikem-Nwosu and this is one of my video sessions. Today I want to talk about career and the path to purpose. And it should be very good to define first of all what a career is. A career, in my own definition, is a path which we commit our lives to. And I tend to discover and understand that choosing a career is something young people, including myself, tend to struggle with. And this struggle doesn't just begin after university, it rightly begins after our secondary school, where we are afforded little information about what our society entails and its demands. And of course, we tend to, seek guidance from our parents, from our teachers, what is expected of us, what are we to study, and then we're told, the most important, the top courses, medicine, law, pharmacy, and really accounting. Yeah. So most of us, when we go to register for JAM, these are the major courses we tend to register, and in the long run, we tend to give up those courses to study another course. And most likely for most of us, including myself, for example, we tend to define that we could commit our careers to a path that has been given to us. But after university, there's still the struggle to, ask yourself the question, the years I've spent in school, the course I've studied, do I really want to commit my life to this as a career? That's a question most of us struggle with immediately after university, and I'm not an exemption. So today I want to explain from learning from one of my role models, and of course understanding what a career is based on experienced people's perspectives. So it's important to differentiate to make a difference between a career and a job. Some persons tend to live their lives doing jobs and not pursuing a career. A career has some characteristics which includes passion, impact, meaning, purpose. But a job is just what we do, a service we render to get paid and make ends meet. So it's important to ask ourselves the questions: what do we want for a career? How do we get on this path of a career? So most times in life, or sometimes in life, choosing a career requires doing a job, because of course some jobs requires skills. They train us, we tend to learn communication skills, how to communicate with the hierarchy in an organization. It also gives us skills like how to serve customers, how to align your mind with the vision of an organization, and how to think strategically. So it's important to hone skills for doing a job. And of course, I did not come here to just make content. I took down notes that I also want to share. So there are some attributes to a career. You must ask yourself, what do I love? Which is the passion you have. You find yourself in a job. Does this align with my value? Does it align with my purpose? And do I love what I am doing? Do I want to commit my life to this? So you have to ask yourself, what do I love what I'm doing, which has to do with your passion? Secondly, do I have the skill that it entails to achieving my career? When you say I have a dream, you have to understand that to achieve your dream, you require skills to achieving that dream. And then to achieve that dream, you have to commit to a career. Your career is the path to achieving that dream. Then thirdly, you'd want to consider how much impact your career makes. Like, for example, now someone is in banking, and are you just banking an employee at a bank just to serve customers, or are you trying to add value to the banking system, develop new initiatives, being innovative, trying to see how you can improve services for the customers and add value to the bank? And in addition, also improve your reputation. You know, it's important when we get into an organization, we try to make impacts ourselves, try to make value so we could, of course, be respected and, see the purpose of a career. Then another question, which is, what must a great career fulfill? Career is not really, when choosing a career, we do not just want to, pursue a path without thinking about meaning, what entails it. So the important questions we must ask ourselves: what must a great career fulfill? Number one, a great career must add learning to you. If your career path doesn't add, if you don't learn from your career path, you don't understand more about yourself, more about society and people around you, and of course where you are headed. If what you are doing could perhaps be a job, if it doesn't add, value to you, you're not learning anything to add to your life, then perhaps that's not a career. Secondly, it should have meaning. When you're in a system, I believe, like, of course, I've volunteered for some services, of course, that serve society. And the question I would always ask is, what's the meaning to this? What's the meaning in the long run? What's the meaning of what I am doing to myself and to society at large? So it's important to ask that question so we don't tend to waste our time and our lives doing something that doesn't add meaning to ourselves and society, which is the second thing we must consider. Thirdly, we must earn. Of course, money is what makes the world go around. And if you're just pushing a career without you earning some properly a good pay that, of course, could pay your house rents, take care of your family, take care of your personal needs, and of course help you make investments, then that's pretty much is not what you should be doing, even though it's a career. For example, a journalist, the career of a journalist is a career that has a lot of numbers in. But if you have an added skill and you decide, I want to pursue journalism as a career, it's important to, you analyze companies or organizations you want to work in. Of course, because we're in a system that underpays people for their work. So you must ask yourself, as a journalist, with how much value that I have, do I want to work for this organization? Is it capable of paying for my services? Although at the beginning, we have to consider that there is a growth stage. So it's important we don't put money first. But of course, a career should be able to, help us manage our needs. But as for young people, money should not be the number one thing you should consider when choosing a career. You should understand that there is room for growth, and therefore you must be patient in that process. But in the long run, earning is something you have to consider. Then fourthly, you must ask yourself, do you must want to, of course, leave a legacy. Legacy is the fourth thing you must consider. In the long run, you must ask yourself, okay, I've done this job, or I've been in this organization for the past 3 to 4 years. And then from your experience of being in an organization or in a system for 3 to 4 years, you must be capable of honing for yourself understanding to ask the question, what legacy would I be leaving in this organization after my time of service? Would I be remembered for the impacts? How much impact would I bring to this organization? Or you could be an entrepreneur, and of course, the entrepreneurial journey is a journey of impact, a journey of legacy. So you must ask yourself, what impacts or legacy would I be leaving behind? Of course, you would want to. It's important we try to exhaust our potentials, knowing that we gave everything for a career path, so that when we are, of course, old and retired, we will be fulfilled by how much we have done. So these are the 4 things we have to consider: learning, meaning, earning, and legacy. So when choosing a career, and of course, the long run, it's important to consider this in at least 3 to 5 years of doing a job, or yes, doing a job at any organization. If this aligns with your career purpose, then what must you do if you're, of course, you're in a career system? Perhaps you're a postgraduate student, for example, or of course you're a doctoral holder or a journalist or any fields of life. Of course, there are questions you need to ask yourself, which is there's a need to learn to think like an entrepreneur. You must, an entrepreneur is someone who gives room for learning, innovation, impact. So there's, of course, the opportunity and need to think like an entrepreneur. For example, if you're in a lecturing system like, of course, Nigeria and high university system, it's important to add value to the system of education, not just teaching, but of course the need for research so that we can be able to improve our society and add value and aid for decision making. Secondly, you need to develop the capacity for meaningful work. Think of your work like a purpose. Don't just do it as something you just have to do to make ends meet. Of course, there is a need to treat your job as something that is purposeful. It starts by coming to work early, going, okay, closing work, perhaps staying an extra 5 minutes after the closing hour, and of course being diligent in your work, how you communicate with people, how you serve your community. If perhaps you're in the field of academics, how you serve the students, how you communicate with your co-workers. It's important. That's how you develop these soft skills, how you execute these soft skills tells how much of a purpose you tend to take your job for. Then, of course, number three, there's a need to develop opinions. It's good to, and it's important to stay up to date in a system. It tends to give room for innovation. For example, you're in a system, it could be banking, it could be journalism, it could be the field of academics, it could be field of medicine, it could be in the field of law, whatsoever spheres of life and career. It's important to have an initiative, be able to understand what the past of that system has been, what the present is, so that you can be able to measure occurrences from past to present and be able to determine what the future should be, innovative, how much good could be improved in the system. And it will not be a bad idea for you who has a clear career mindset to be able to have those ideologies, pitch those ideologies to the system, to embrace those ideologies. So that's very important. Then number four is to optimize to surround yourself with people better than you. Some persons, or some persons do not like to work with people higher than them. They like to be the best in the room. And I must tell you, from my university experience, having a class occupied with people who dare to think and dare to ask questions and dare to be innovative and creative is quite greatly helpful. It helped me during the career of my university studies. It gave room for good competition, healthy competition, the room to ask each other questions and have clear conversations about a subject without feeling threatened by someone's superiority in context. So it's important to work with people who are higher than you, because it helps you to be a better person, to be better at your job, to be better at what you do. So it's something to consider, working with people who are smarter than you. So as I would want to close with some remarks and some advice. As a young person, just as I am, it's important to do the deep work now, to concentrate on doing something that aligns with our purpose and value for a long period of time. It's important to follow up as, of course, you're in seek of a job, or in seek of a career purpose. It's important to follow up people who are experienced in the field of your interest, to send those emails, send those messages, message them on LinkedIn, and follow up.